All right, so today we're going to jump into a story that, well, it might just hit a little too close to home for some of us. It's all about trying to do something simple, getting super frustrated, and discovering a huge lesson about success that was right there the whole time.
Okay, let me ask you something. You ever have one of those moments, where you're just pouring every ounce of energy you have into a task, trying your absolute hardest to nail it?
And yet, for all that effort, it just keeps going wrong, right? It's like you're pushing a giant boulder up a hill, and it just keeps rolling back on you. Well, that's exactly where the main character of our story, a guy named Evan, finds himself.
So let's meet Evan. And his goal, it couldn't be more basic. He just wants to make some fried eggs. Simple enough, right? But for him, this isn't really about breakfast. It's an all-out war happening right inside his own mind.
And this is what that battlefield looks like. On one side, you've got what we'll call the tempter. You know that voice? That kind of arrogant, cocky voice in your head that says, just figure it out yourself, be a genius. That's pure ego talking. Then on the other side, there's the quiet, calm voice, the Crystic Conscience. And all it's suggesting is, hey, maybe just look it up in a cookbook or be patient. This is the tug of war that's about to play out.
So which voice do you think he listens to? Yeah, you guessed it. Like a lot of us, he goes with the loudest one. He dives headfirst into the gospel of figure it out, and spoiler alert, it ends in total disaster. And this is what figuring it out on his own actually looks like. His ego is totally in the driver's seat. So for fried eggs, his ingredients are, well, not eggs. We're talking a fork, a block of cheese, a crumpled napkin, a can of beans, for goodness sake. He's literally just throwing random stuff into the pan, hoping something works.
And why on earth is he doing this? Because that tempter voice is right there, whispering in his ear. It's feeding his ego, telling him exactly what it wants to hear. Be creative. Real geniuses improvise. So he's completely sold on this idea that the answer has to come from him and him alone.
So the result? Of course, it's just a sad, smoking disaster in the pan. But the most important part here isn't the mess. It's what Evan concludes from it. His takeaway isn't, maybe my method is flawed. Nope. His takeaway is, life is against me. He makes himself the victim. He thinks the universe is out to get him, instead of realizing his own approach is the problem.
Okay, but now we get to a turning point. After all that failure, a little piece of the truth finally manages to cut through all the noise in his head. But here's the thing. Just getting one piece of the truth doesn't guarantee you'll use it right, not when your ego is still calling the shots. So this new thought pops into his head, and it feels like some kind of ancient cosmic wisdom. It's something that is so obvious to us, but to him, stuck in his own mess, it's a massive revelation. And the thought is, cosmic law decrees that you must use eggs to make fried eggs. But watch what happens next. His ego immediately grabs that piece of knowledge and twists it. He's like, okay, fine, I'll use eggs, but I'm still doing it my way. I'm going to claim my truth. See what he did there? He accepted the fact, but he's still forcing it through that stubborn, I know best filter. And what does his truth look like in reality? Oh, it's just him dumping the entire egg carton, yep, cardboard and all, straight into the hot pan. You have to laugh. It's such a perfect picture of what happens when you mix a little bit of truth with a whole lot of ego. You just get a bigger, smokier, more fiery mess. So, this flaming carton of eggs, this is finally what brings Evan to rock bottom. He has to surrender. And this leads us to the real climax of the story, the answer in the book. He finally does the one thing his ego has been screaming at him not to do. He opens the cookbook, and what does he find inside? Not some complicated secret chef technique. Nope, just 3 simple, crystal clear steps. Look at the difference here, the total chaos from before versus this clean simplicity. The answer was right there waiting for him the whole time, and it wasn't even hard. And just by following those simple steps, he gets it. He gets the fried egg he wanted all along. For the very first time, what's actually on his plate looks like the picture he had in his mind. And that, right there, is the breakthrough. And this is when that quiet voice, the Crystic Conscience, comes back and lays out the core lesson of this whole story. It tells him, look, the problem was never your effort. It wasn't how much you wanted it. It was your mindset. His false beliefs, this idea that he had to be a genius and invent the solution, that asking for help was a sign of weakness, those beliefs literally slammed the door on the truth that was just waiting for him to find it.
All right, so let's step out of Evan's kitchen for a second, because obviously this story isn't really about cooking fried eggs, is it? It's a metaphor. It's about a much, much bigger struggle we all face with knowledge, our own egos, and just a simple act of paying attention.
What Evan went through is a perfect example of something we can call the willpower trap. And you've probably seen this before. It's the belief that sheer motivation and effort are enough to solve any problem, that if we just hustle harder, we'll get there. But it completely ignores a crucial fact. Effort without the right knowledge is just spinning your wheels. It's wasted energy. And this chart here just lays out that huge shift in thinking so perfectly. Evan started out believing the answer had to be complex and that he had to invent it. He ended up realizing the answer was actually simple, and he just had to find it. He went from thinking his feelings defined reality to understanding that objective laws, like how heat cooks an egg, are what really matter. And most importantly, he learned that getting help isn't a weakness. It's a powerful tool for getting things done.
So really, the biggest takeaway from all of this is pretty clear. Visualizing your goal, being motivated, that stuff is super important. It's the starting point, for sure. But it's not the whole game. Real success, it depends on opening your eyes and being willing to see the help and the answers that are already out there, all around you. You just have to be willing to look.
And that brings us right to the final question I want to leave you with. For Evan, the cookbook was, a literal book. But what about for us? In our lives, a cookbook could be anything, right? It could be that tough piece of advice you don't want to hear. It could be a mentor you're too proud to ask for help. It could even be a simple set of instructions you think you're too smart to follow. So here's the question to really think about. What cookbook in your life have you been refusing to open?